Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today for a brand new pick a card reading. For those of you that are new to the channel, hello and welcome in. My name is Melissa, and today's reading topic is going to be digging into your career and financial outlook for the upcoming month of July. So in today's video, I'm just going to be looking in to see what general energies are coming through for you, any themes, situations of significance with regard to your career specifically this upcoming month, okay? Getting into the disclaimers, please do keep in mind that this is a general reading. So some messages may resonate quite specifically with your situation while others may not. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Please don't get upset if something that I'm saying isn't specifically resonating with your situation, again, because this is a general reading. Also, bear in mind, you guys, that with these more predictive style readings, what this is really giving you is a snapshot of where you're headed based on the current energy. So if you do see something predicted out for your career in the month of July and you don't feel super excited about it, please don't feel like you're stuck to anything that a tarot reading is saying, because you do have free will to make your own choices and decisions and create whatever desired outcome is best suited to you. So please, again, just never feel like you're stuck with anything that a tarot reading is saying. All right, let's go ahead and get into our pile selection. So we're doing 3 piles today, starting here on the left with pile number 1. We have this green Adventurine crystal. For pile number 2, we are doing a Fluorite. And for pile number 3, we're working with some Tiger's Eye. So I would love for you guys to go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about your career in the month of July and what's headed your way. Go ahead and select the pile or crystal you're feeling the most intuitively connected to. And once you've made your choice, go ahead and scroll down to the description box below where you can locate the timestamp that will skip you ahead to your chosen pile. See you there. Hey there, pile number 1. If you guys picked out this green Adventurine crystal, this will be your career reading for the month of July. So kicking things off with your astrology cards, we start off here with Aquarius energy, and then we have the Descendant. Ooh, okay. Wow, this is beautiful energy, group 1. So initially what I'm getting from both of these cards coming up for you in career this month is this is going to be a month where you're really focusing in on relationships and partnerships. We have collaboration being highlighted here with Aquarius, and then we also have the invitation energy of the Descendant here. So I feel like there is a need for you guys this month with your career to really think about partnerships and thinking about almost like the greater good of the group versus maybe your own individual opinion, idea, or moving in a more individualistic way, if that makes sense. You know, Aquarius energy is that energy. It is very much about thinking with the group in mind, like thinking with the greater good in mind. And Aquarius energy is also sort of about challenging the status quo, right? Thinking a little bit outside of the box. So some of you guys may be kind of trying out some new ideas with regard to a certain work setting or group that you're a part of. And with the Descendant energy coming up here, this is all about kind of how we are inviting others into our world. So I think a big part of this month is going to be about you all sort of taking the initiative and taking the lead on inviting others to be a part of your collaborations and really thinking about who you're inviting in and why. And almost like I'm getting an energy here of creating a safe place for unique ideas and perspectives to be shared. So definitely huge emphasis on teamwork, innovation, collaboration, and needing to create kind of a warm, welcoming environment for all. So let's take a look at your tarot cards next. So we start with the Page of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups. Okay. And then we have the Six of Swords. Let me push these up a little bit here. Lots of Cups cards, which is interesting because Aquarius is very much air energy. We do have air energy here with the Six of Swords too. I definitely feel like whatever you guys have going on at work, there's certainly a lot of emotion tied to it. I definitely feel that this is something that you guys are really like either emotionally invested in, or it's something that you just certainly really, really care a lot about. I definitely see like a need here to be like compassionate, to exercise empathy. Again, kind of like tying it in with our themes of teamwork and collaboration here. I definitely feel that a more compassionate and empathetic approach with that Queen of Cups is going to serve you in your highest good. Maybe some of you guys this month are finding yourselves getting like promoted into a leadership position, or maybe just kind of naturally flowing into a leadership position, maybe the leader of the group in a sense. And the Queen of Cups in terms of leadership is going to be someone who is quite compassionate and understanding and warm and welcoming and inviting, right, with that descendant energy coming through. But I also feel like with these Cups cards coming up for you guys, group number 1, there's an element of creativity here in your career this month as well. So it's like kind of tying it back in with our message with Aquarius, right, where we're talking about thinking outside of the box, thinking more creatively, kind of like challenging the status quo. There's definitely something here that's echoing those sentiments with the Page and the Queen of Cups, because especially this Page of Cups is very much talking about like your creative or artistic endeavors coming through. I definitely feel like beginning of the month of July, it seems like you guys are sort of like getting some good news about your career, or just starting off like on some sort of a new path with regard to either the way you're communicating with others or some sort of project that you guys are working on, something artistic or something where you get to be a little bit more creative. Mid-month, it almost feels like this is growing, right? Because going from the Page to the Queen is sort of like an upgrade in a sense. It's like growth, it's maturing. There's definitely an energy here of compassion, and like this card is talking about being content, finding almost like, yeah, this is like finding a greater purpose with regard to your career. Almost like, again, tying back to Aquarius, it's like the greater good of your career. Like when you sort of zoom the lens out and look at the big picture of what it is that you want to be doing, it certainly feels like this is a month where you all are finding that purpose, that higher purpose. And maybe even for some of you guys realizing that money isn't everything, right? There could be some things for some of you that you've been sort of tied to when it comes to your career up until this point. You know, maybe some of you have wanted to achieve a certain level of status or a certain amount of money, or there's been some sort of like maybe financial goal that you've had in mind for yourself, or some sort of position that you thought you would have been in by now, and maybe some of you are. But I definitely feel that this month it's more about thinking of the big picture, right, of how your career fits into your life. And I feel like there's sort of that movement away from being fixated on the more material aspect of your career. Feels like you guys are really wanting to do something where you can be of service to others, where you can collaborate with others, you can work together with others, right? So even for some of you guys, if you're not specifically in an environment where you're working on a team, I see this energy of Aquarius and the Descendant being more about you moving into a career path where you're able to be of service to others. You know, doing work that really feels like it's achieving a higher purpose for you. And it feels like this is a change for a lot of you guys with the Six of Swords. Like you're moving away from something that's very stressful this month in your career. Changing positions, as this card talks about. You know, and the Six of Swords is very much when we're moving into a place that's much more calm for us. Some of you guys, I think, are going to be feeling a lot more smooth sailing, especially by the end of the month of July. And there may even be vacation time coming up, as it states here. So this looks awesome, Group 1. Let's continue with the rest of your Oracle cards. And then before we close it out, I'm actually going to pull from this little Lenormand deck. Sorry, I just messed up my camera here. So let's see what else we get. So we have the Giraffe Spirit, seeing the bigger picture. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this really ties in with all these themes that we've been talking about. Like you guys this month are really doing whatever it is that you love and sort of releasing attachment to like financial or monetary or status related goals. It really feels like you guys are wanting to be living more in doing a career that feels more purposeful to you, more emotional to you, or more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that there's something more that it's bringing to you on an emotional level. We also have the Mother here, very nurturing energy, very similar to this Queen of Cups, right? So yeah, it's very much a month where you guys are, you're nurturing something, right? whether this is being that compassionate leader like we were talking about in the group, or for some of you, this is talking about like some sort of creative little baby that you've given birth to, right? There's a little baby that we have here. There could be motherhood happening for some of you guys this month too, right? Like maybe there's an energy of infusing like work-life balance a little bit better and being able to be a mom or a parent while also doing the work that you love. This is beautiful, you guys. So it's like definitely key themes that I'm seeing for you this month ahead are centered around, collaboration, teamwork, working with others, being that compassionate, warm, welcoming person on the team, or creating some sort of career path for yourself where you get to be living more in your purpose while being of service to others. And it feels like you guys are really in alignment with like the bigger picture with that giraffe spirit. So let's take a look. I want to pull some of these little Lenormand cards just to see what other energy you guys may want to be aware of this month. What else is happening in career for group 1? Did anything flip? Yes. So we have the stork. That's so funny with the mother card there. So literally there could be that happening for some of you. Being a parent, that's still a job, We also have time. And then we have the mice. Interesting. I want to look, because I'm still kind of learning this way of reading, so I want to look to see, let's see, the stork. Yes, okay, so the stork is talking about a birth, a transition, new and improved. Okay, so that kind of aligns really well with that Page of Cups, you guys, because I was kind of getting that this could be something newer for you that you're sliding into this month. Let's see, the time, past, present, future, and patience. Okay, so maybe some of you guys have been putting in a lot of effort into whatever this more creative side of your work is. But also I feel that this is speaking to like a greater realization that like big picture wise, whatever goal you're trying to accomplish is going to take time, right? It's like the work you're putting in today is setting you up for long-term success for your future, So it's important to have a little bit of patience with yourself and realize that like, even if you're not seeing a direct return on investment right this second, you will in years to come, right? And then the mice is talking about, this says loss, anxiety, devastation, and theft. Okay, those are the themes that are coming up with this. So what I feel from this, especially with it coming up here over top of the Six of Swords, there just are probably some little details or things that you guys might be obsessing over, or just some sort of fears and anxieties even around this new energy that you're inviting into your life, right? Whenever I think of the mice, I usually think that like there's some sort of like minute details that we're sort of maybe obsessing over, or for some of you, whatever it is that has been causing you stress and anxiety in your career, it's like those little troubles are no longer going to be there for you because you're moving away from it with the Six of Swords. You're finding ways to reduce stress as it pertains to your career and really live in alignment with your purpose and doing what you love. So pile 1, this looks really beautiful for the month of July. I would love to hear from you in the comments what aspects of the reading you feel resonate most with your situation. So please drop me a comment down below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are aware of whenever I upload new videos, and I do look forward to seeing you in a new reading really soon. Bye. Hey, pile number 2, if you guys picked out the Fluorite heart, this will be your career reading for the month of July. So let's go ahead and see what is in store for you, starting off with your overall energy of your astrology cards. So for you guys this month, we are starting off here with Pluto energy. And then we have Chiron energy. Wow. Okay, so this is really intense this month for you, group 2. I can definitely see why you were drawn to Fluorite, because if I'm not mistaken, Fluorite can be really great for helping to keep yourself more focused, clear-headed around things, like eliminating any sort of fog or confusion. I'm not necessarily seeing like specifically confusion here overall with career, but this is definitely going to be a month that's incredibly transformative for you. You know, Pluto energy is, like this card mentions, this is all about death and rebirth, okay? Pluto is coming around this month to drastically transform the way that you guys are doing something within your career, okay? So massive change is coming through. And, you know, with Pluto, sometimes what this does is it sort of like dredges up what is hidden from us, right? So it kind of dredges up, in this case, what I'm seeing to be like maybe old wounds or something. You know, like something that hasn't been totally obvious or revealed to you yet is being revealed this month. Now, this can be something like having to do more like mundanely, just like with your workplace. But for others of you, I really feel like this is more something within you that's being revealed, maybe even triggered this month as it pertains to your career. You know, Chiron energy, this is all about where we have a like quote unquote wound, okay? So there is something here within your career this month that is being triggered on a spiritual level. I do think it's probably being triggered by whatever change is coming through for you here with Pluto. For those of you that are curious, though, to be more, it's like to maybe potentially get more specific, I would look into seeing where Chiron sits in your birth chart if you have access to that, because depending on where it's sitting in what house and what sign, it might be able to tell you a little bit more specifically what your quote unquote wound is that you are healing in career. But you know, essentially, this is something that is here to sort of help you learn more about yourself. You know what I mean? Like through change, like change in any instance can be really challenging, right? You know, so whenever you go through a massive change in life, you kind of learn a lot about yourself and like, what are your shadow sides? How did you handle it? You know, what are some things that like you might do differently in the future? And that's essentially what I feel is happening here with Chiron. It's like, this is a month where you're just learning a lot about how you manage through change and how you maybe even manage through stressful change. Or even potentially any blockages that are preventing you from embracing full rebirth and transformation here. Because the thing about Pluto is, you guys, even though this card looks like really scary and intense, it is ultimately a good thing because you're rebirthing, right? Like you're moving into something new. You're transitioning into something new and different. So you guys have for your tarot cards the Three of Wands, the Fool, yes. And then we do have the Five of Pentacles coming up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is certainly an energy this month of you all sort of like taking a leap of faith here, okay? I definitely see you starting off the month with this Three of Wands in planning mode, okay? Because planning mode is very much about sort of thinking about the future, making a plan for the future, really thinking about like what's next for you and coming up with some tangible steps maybe on how you want to get there. I'm also kind of feeling for some of you guys, just like the way that these cards are looking, I feel like you guys may know that there's something big coming on the horizon because we have Pluto again, but then we also have the Five of Pentacles, which can sometimes talk about a setback at work. And this can be a couple of different things, but some of you guys, I feel like you might know that this is coming in the distant future in a sense. And maybe you're sort of anticipating and planning for this change at the beginning of the month. But I definitely see that the Fool card being here kind of in the heart of your spread, sort of mid-month of July, this is looking like you guys taking a leap of faith into something new. Maybe starting to shift and look at this change as more of like an adventure, right? Like more like something that's exciting for you versus something that could be sad or scary, like some of these cards may indicate for us. I definitely think though, like, if you guys are planning on taking some sort of risk this month, because it's kind of interesting that we go from like planning to like just blindly taking a leap of faith, and then we see this sort of like Five of Pentacles energy closing us out. So what I would say is for any of you guys that are planning on taking any sort of impulsive decision, I would just make sure that you're really evaluating the payoff and rewards potential of it, right? What's the risk? What's the potential payoff? Especially if it's something to do with like finances and any sort of like hope to sort of get something fast. You know, I don't know why that's coming through. Just be cautious that you're doing your homework and not just blindly trusting. I think especially when it comes to money and things like that. That's just what I'm getting for some of you guys out there. But you guys do have the Five of Pentacles coming up at the end of the month here. So, you know, the Five of Pentacles, I kind of see this in a couple of different ways. You know, for some, this can be talking about maybe even like a job loss or, something within your job situation that's just not quite going your way, right? Temporary hardships. It could have to do with the physical career aspect of things. It could have to do with your financial flow at the end of the month. Maybe things are a little tighter for you. But for others of you, it could be talking about like emotions as well, right? Because this is typically a card of sadness. This is when we feel left out. This is when we feel abandoned. This is when we feel down and out. Like we've come on hard times and we feel sad about it. So again, this could be sort of what's being triggered through this Chiron energy of like, you guys know that something is changing. You're taking a leap of faith into something new. And so maybe for some of you, there's an energy of being a little bit sad about letting go of the old, or being a little bit almost having like imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not good enough for whatever the new thing is. Okay. So this is all really beautiful because it's going to give you the opportunity to really self-explore where this is coming from for you. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, it definitely feels like you guys are taking a leap into something new this month that is going to massively change and transform your career as you know it. Some of you guys might actually be moving or doing travel this month as well. That could be a thing. So we do have the turtle spirit. Slow and steady wins the race. So it's interesting this is coming up because I was kind of getting with that Fool card just like a little bit of a warning message in a sense to sort of like be cautious, right? If you look at the Fool, like this is literally someone who's so excited about like doing this new thing that he's literally about to walk off of a cliff, okay? I'm not saying you guys shouldn't be excited, but I feel like the message here, especially with the turtle spirit coming through, is that you want to take it slow. Be excited, but have a plan. And don't try to rush things because this is talking about being slow and steady wins the race, right? So like sort of making sure that you're measuring and monitoring your energy levels, making sure that you are taking it at your own pace. Don't feel like you have to keep up with other people, or don't compare yourself to others around you, especially if you are embarking on something new. Because you want to kind of, I feel, lay a solid foundation for yourself. Build that foundation of knowledge that you're going to need to fall back on as you continue to grow. You guys also have the Slave card coming up. So it says, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Interesting. This also talks about giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. I'm actually really being drawn to the light attribute here. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. That's kind of like what the Fool is talking about, you guys. The Fool card does talk about, the Fool card is blind trust in a sense. It's sort of just taking a leap of faith. So I definitely feel that there's that energy this month of you just kind of like diving into something new and just saying, you know what? Screw it. We're going to try it out. So this is really interesting. Let's go ahead and get some of these Lenormand cards for you guys because I'm just curious to see like what other energies we need to be aware of in your career this month. So we have Masquerade. Let's see what else we get. Okay. We do have Letter. So you're getting some good news mid-month is what it looks like with that Fool card. That's exciting. Maybe. I don't know. And then we have the Ship. Okay. What's interesting is the tornado is at the bottom. Remember how I was telling you guys I was feeling like maybe you're anticipating something coming through? Right? The tornado, I'm just looking at the card because I don't have these all memorized yet, but the tornado talks about destruction, chaos, and upheaval. So yeah, you guys very much know that something is massively changing within your career this month. So the Masquerade is talking about hidden identity and something hidden, your identity or your true self. Okay. So I kind of think like when you guys are planning at the beginning of the month, when you're thinking about this change that's coming in, you're deciding what it is that you want to do and where you want to go, I do feel like Spirit is saying it's very important for you to think about who you genuinely are, right? From the inside. You know, who are you when the mask is off? And this is what you want to keep in mind as you're moving into new career energies. Maybe for some of you, this is about choosing a path where you can just be yourself, right? Choosing a path where you feel the most authentic. You're doing work that feels authentic to you. Yeah, the letter is good. It's talking about news, correspondence, or an announcement. So some of you guys could be getting news about the change that's coming. Others of you could be getting news about a new beginning. So maybe for some of you, this is like a new job opportunity that's coming through, which is really exciting. And then the ship card is talking about travel. So remember I was kind of getting travel. This says travel, distance, and adventure. So it definitely feels like there is an element of movement within your career this month, whether it's physical travel or, you know, the Fool also talks about adventures, right? So there's something that you guys are doing that's really fun and exciting in your career this month. And I feel like whatever you're doing is also helping you to work on your self-worth and your self-esteem and to sort of like heal this aspect of yourself at work, of maybe feeling like you're not good enough for something. Yeah, it's like, it really feels like some of you guys that chose group 2, it's like, you know that this thing is coming and you've just surrendered to the universe. You're like, whatever, just let it happen. And I'm just going to enjoy the moment while I have it, you know? So group 2, I do think I'm going to go ahead and close out the reading there, but I would love to hear from you in the comments what aspects you felt resonated the most with you in your situation. So please drop me a note down below and let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. This way you guys are aware of whenever I'm uploading new content. And I do look forward to seeing you in a new reading really soon. Bye. Hey there, pile number 3. If you guys picked out the Tiger's Eye Crystal, this is going to be your career reading for the month of July. So let's go ahead and take a look, starting off with your astrology cards. So overall energy this month, we have the Pallas Athena, and we have the second house. Okay, nice. So I definitely feel that like your money is being highlighted this month, you guys. So this month you might be focusing in on themes of like how you make money, maybe focusing in on themes of like how you save money, you know, multiple streams of income. There's something here around your resources. There's something here about making money that's being highlighted for you. And with this card, the Pallas Athena coming up, you know, this is all about sort of, it says think, right? So it's about putting that thinking cap on and really thinking logically about how you're going to go about things, how you're going to get this money, strategizing, right? This card also really speaks to being the authority in your life, kind of being that person in the workplace who is able to come in with logic and intellect and come in with a really strong, confident energy to know that you're the person to handle whatever the situation is, right? So I feel like for a lot of you guys, because this is coming up here with the second house of resources, for me, this is sort of talking about like how you're confidently coming up with ways to get this money in your life, like being the one person who is the authority in your own life on how you're going to get the resources that you need to get things done. So it's interesting. It almost feels like it's more about, maybe for some of you guys too, it's like you're getting money through being a leader in the workplace. Maybe for some of you guys, you're getting money through like a more intellectual type of role, you know, so whatever that means for you, take it how it resonates. But let's continue. I want to take a look at your tarot cards next. So we have the Five of Cups. We have the Moon. Okay, this is interesting. And then we also have the King of Swords. So I kind of see why you guys have this Pallas Athena card coming out, because it definitely feels like you guys are moving through a little bit of an uncertain time in your career this month. With the Five of Cups kicking us off here, this is kind of telling me that maybe there's been some sort of temporary setback in your career. You know, this is typically when we feel like we've lost something or something hasn't quite worked out for us. You know, this card talks about setbacks, demotions, or company downsizing. I know, like, because I'm really tapped into what's happening in like the corporate world right now, in like corporate America. I know that a lot of companies are downsizing right now because unfortunately it looks like we're getting ready to go into a recession. So maybe that's kind of something that you guys are thinking about going into the month of July. Maybe you're aware of this being a potential issue for you. And this is why you're more focused on the money aspect of things. Okay, so I definitely see here with the moon card, there's definitely going to be some time this month where you guys are moving through sort of a period of uncertainty here, an unclear phase in your work, maybe where something is not quite feeling as clear as it could, or it's feeling a little bit mysterious, right? And the moon card in a career reading, you guys, it can be scary, right? Because it's like we literally cannot see the path forward. I'm almost feeling like some of you guys maybe are going through almost like take it as it resonates. I'm not trying to freak anyone out, but like it almost does feel like there's some sort of like layoff situation that I'm seeing here for some of you, followed by a period of uncertainty of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? But the good news is, you guys, is that by the ending of the month here with the King of Swords, it feels like you've shifted back into this more like empowered and logical mindset around things. Not that it's like bad to be emotional or to be confused or afraid, right? Because like when we go through these changes, these disappointments in our career, you know, like when this is directly impacting your money situation, like it's definitely not easy, you know? So whatever emotions you guys are feeling this month with career, please feel it. It's totally valid, you know? And it definitely feels like by the ending of the month, you guys are kind of back in your power again with the King of Swords. And it's like, it's so funny that he's like surrounded by this money here. So it feels like there is a solution here to any potential issues with resources that come up for you. I feel like a lot of you guys maybe have money saved, or I don't know. It just feels like it just feels like all is well by the end of the month with the King of Swords. You know, this is about, again, like being in your power, being more detached from the emotions of things, kind of like this card talks about, and being more tapped into the logical side of things and saying, okay, like, let me detach from the sadness or whatever I'm feeling, and let's think about this from a higher perspective. Let's think about this very logically and analytically. How am I going to do this, right? You guys may also be like raising your standards around something in your career this month as well. You know, maybe you guys have already known or been going through sort of this uncertain phase for a while, and you've kind of made a decision here by the end of the month that you want to have more for yourself. Like maybe more money is coming up for some of you. You would like to earn more than maybe what you were earning in previous jobs. And maybe this is also about having higher standards when it comes to who you're getting the money from, like what company you're working for instance, you know, being very strategic about maybe doing research on these companies if you are working in a corporate environment, and asking yourself, okay, like, is this a healthy company that can survive external issues happening in the economy? You know, that could be a thing as well for some of you. And then we also have law and judge being highlighted too, so that could be something significant that some of you guys are moving through too. Let's continue though. I want to look at your other oracle cards. So we have the Moth Spirit. This is so funny, you guys, because if you follow me on YouTube and you follow my community tab, I literally just did a post about a moth that I saw outside of my apartment. So this is saying surrender now. And so I'm trying to remember, because I wrote like a whole post about it, but moths have to do with like transformation and rebirth, right? The afterlife, I think, was a key word that I saw when I researched the symbolism here. So the thing about this is, you guys, is that if there is some sort of setback that you're facing, it does definitely feel like I'm getting very external stuff impacting you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like this 5 of Cups moon energy is like your doing at all. It feels like this is something that might be happening to some of you, and you can't necessarily control it. You know what I mean? But you can control how you choose to respond to it, right? So it's like with the Moth Spirit coming up, it's saying don't try to force or resist any change that's happening. Even if it feels really uncomfortable in the moment, you're being guided to just lean back and let whatever will be. Okay? And remember that like any and sometimes I know this is like easier said than done, especially if you're going through a setback, but just try to remember that like if something is leaving your life, it's usually creating space for something better. It's death and rebirth. You guys also have the Servant. This says, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, using the lack of money as an excuse to not move forward with life. So again, we have a message here about money and finances. For some of you guys, there could be a need here to invest in something that would propel you forward, right? And maybe there's a fear here of investing that money because you feel like you need to save it, right? I'm not here to give financial advice, so please just don't, take what resonates with you. But there could be a message here for some of you guys, and this will be confirmation if you know it's for you. There could be a message here about like not being afraid to invest in something and spend the money on it if it's going to propel you forward toward a solution that you need. So for instance, like, do you want to invest in getting like your resume service done, getting your resume redone, getting your LinkedIn profile redone? If you guys do that, do you want to invest in taking a course or class that would help to propel you forward out of this situation, right? Sometimes you have to invest in those things and let go of some income in order to get it back later in return on investment. But I also wonder too, if for some of you guys, a temporary solution you've come up with is to serve others in some way, right? So maybe some of you are doing work that is on the side, right? Like serving others, literally, like in any sort of service environment. So let's see. I'm going to pull some of these Lenormand cards because I want to take a look to see more specifically what else could potentially be happening for you in career this month. It's definitely a crazy time out there, guys. Like, trust me, I'm right there with you when it comes to like work-related stuff. So let's see. Okay, so we have the Woman coming up. So we have a female influence, feminine influence. We have bees. Love that. And then we have the Book. Interesting. We also have commitment here at the bottom. So this is a good sign because it feels like even if you guys are moving through a temporary setback, it definitely feels like there's some sort of commitment coming in for you when it comes to your career, right? So leaving something behind is making and creating space for something new that can be more tangible and long-standing for you. But yeah, so the Woman card is talking about a feminine influence. Doesn't necessarily have to be feminine. This can be talking about you, my viewer, no matter how you identify, or another energy within your life, another person in your life of significance to your career. What I would say is what I'm getting from this is that this is about you, my viewer. Again, like being in your power and using that logic and intellect to resolve whatever situation that you're in, right? So knowing that whatever you're moving through right now, whatever sadness, whatever setback it is, like you have the power to respond to it differently or create a different type of plan for yourself if you want. The bees are interesting because this is sort of giving me networking vibes. So maybe as you guys are moving through this period of uncertainty with the Moon card, you're going to really benefit from your connections, your relationships with others. This is also a card that talks about teamwork as well. This card also talks about obedience too. So for some of you guys, if you like have started something new and things feel a little unclear or hazy, there might be a need to sort of just like follow the script for a little while. Like don't go too off the path. Just kind of do what it seems like the status quo is while you're adjusting. In the book, this talks about education, research, secrets, and wisdom. So that's really interesting because I definitely can see like wisdom, your logic, your intellect giving you the answers you need to be really in your power by the ending of the month of July. So maybe you guys are investing in some sort of a class or education or some sort of knowledge that's going to unlock the answer for you. So group 3, this is cool. It does look like you have a really interesting month ahead in your career. I would really like to know in the comments how it resonates with your situation personally. So please let me know. If you're not already, definitely subscribe to the channel so that you're aware of when I'm uploading new content. And I will see you in a new reading really soon. Bye.